Hello there. Glad you could join us on this another Sunday edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have a lot lined up just for you, but before we jump in, here's a reminder that COVID-19 vaccines are available free of cost at government health facilities across the island. Yes, COVID-19 still a keep, so be sure to practice your prevention measures. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Nutritious food, succulent dishes, superior workmanship, and excellent service. Jamaica is on the go. Let's grow what we eat and eat what we grow. Let's harness the indomitable spirit of our most valued resource, our people. Let's support our local businesses. After all, buying Jamaican means building Jamaica.
Original. The Ministry of Justice is playing its role in the governance of this country.
And for 2022, that included charging more qualified justice stakeholders to serve you, expanding its alternative dispute resolution programs, and bringing you more justice centers and modernized courthouses. But that's just the surface. Join us on Monday, January 16, 2023 for all the details on what the Ministry of Justice was up to for 2022.
On Get the Facts this week, we continue our discussion on the new Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act of 2022 that's now in effect.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm Theodore Henry. Our discussion today is centered on the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022. Harsher penalties are outlined. We're talking life imprisonment for certain offenses, while definitions are made much clearer. The act is said to satisfy all the legal precedents and constitutional framework. Taking us through some of the clauses is Director of Corporate Communications and Client Relations at the Firearms Licensing Authority, FLA, Beverly Robinson. Welcome to the program again, Ms. Robinson.
Thank you.
All right. Now, let's jump into getting the facts. I understand from the Act that there is to be the establishment of a database or a register. And I know it's not the FLA's database per se, but just give us a bit of information about this national register.
Well, it's a national register. Which will act as a control for all firearms in Jamaica, and it will be established at the Institute of Forensic Science and Legal Medicine. And in that register will all information regarding all legal firearms that are held in Jamaica will be deposited. That information will be contained there.
Central place.
Central. Right. And so the private firearm license holders who would be in, for example, the FLA's database, all that information will also be held by IFSLM as the registrar.
Right. This would involve ballistics and numbering and all of that.
Right.
But tell me something. I understand for new acquisitions of firearms, but for those who already have their firearm, how are they going to get into that? How does the process
Well, the FLA already has a database, you know.
Yeah.
So we have an extensive database of the firearm holders.
Which covers all that information already?
All that information already. Right. So perhaps the only thing that we have not yet captured is the markings that are going to be on the firearms.
All right.
And that we will capture.
So a call will go out.
Pretty soon. Right.
Understood. All right. There are some situations which I know our viewers will be interested in. You mentioned the fact that the weapon, we spoke before, the weapon always needs to be on your person. You mentioned a safe, for example, and viewers, you can always watch and the next time we do this. But what if I'm on the road, the officer stops me, and I don't have my license?
Well, then you're given 24 hours within which to produce it. the officer will retain the firearm.
Yes.
He is legally empowered to retain the firearm, and you have a duty to now produce that authorization, your license, from the FLA within 24 hours.
Tell us about some of the other offenses that are laid out in this
Okay,
act.
so we have the new manufacturer's license, which if you begin to manufacture firearms and ammunition without the requisite authorization from the FLA, then the penalty for that, if you're convicted, is life imprisonment.
You say firearms and ammunition. There's no distinction between the two. So making ammunition. No, but I'm asking, making ammunition and making firearms is the same penalty, illegally.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Okay.
Because basically it's an illegal act.
Yes.
It would be an illegal act.
I'm just wondering,
right.
Because some persons may say, but okay, it's not a gun, it's just the ammunition. Why would it?
Why would you want to manufacture ammunition?
There you go. There you go.
That would be the question.
Fair enough. You were telling us about some of the other offenses.
And ammunition can only be purchased from dealers.
Yes.
Dealers who have received the license from the FLA.
Okay.
So it has to be somebody who has applied and the FLA has done the background checks on this company, on the owners, the principals, and has issued a license to these dealers. So you can't go online and buy those things and take them in.
Okay.
So it is strict. Yes. Right. And as we say, the whole idea is to enhance personal and public safety. The essence of all these regulations, at the heart of it all, is to enhance public safety and, of course, our personal safety. Right.
Understood.
It is also an offense to use threatening language to an officer while executing his or her duties relative to your firearm. So if, for example, somebody from the compliance department calls you in to bring in your firearm, you're not supposed to resist, to hinder, to obstruct in any way.
Right.
You're supposed to comply.
Well, does this also apply to that scenario that we pitched earlier? You are stopped. The officer asks if you have the weapon.
You should.
Right.
You should have your license on you at all times. Yeah. The intent of the law is not to criminalize licensed firearm holders. So you're supposed to, the term and condition of you getting that license is that you will have it on you at all times. In other words, once you have your firearm, you must have your license.
Like your driver's license.
Yes. Right. Now, in the event, you changed your wallet, whatever it fell out, whatever story, and you don't have it, then you will be given 24 hours within which to produce it. But within the space of that 24 hours, the police has the legal right to retain that firearm.
All right, I understand there. Now, you were telling us about there was that one that had life imprisonment, manufacture of ammunition or firearms. I know there are some with smaller sentences, smaller offenses. Can you talk to us about some of those?
Well, if you store your firearm in some place that is not the safe that we spoke about, or the FLA or the police, then there is a fine for that, not exceeding $1 million if you are convicted, or a year in prison. So that is another one that we can readily speak to.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Now, I'm looking at a portion of the Act that speaks of the power of search, seizure, and to obtain information. What's that about? Well,
remember, the FLA is a regulator of the private firearm industry. Yeah. And within the context of being the regulator, those are the powers conferred on the FLA by virtue of the new act. Right. So the fact that you have a firearm doesn't mean that you can use it and, intimidate your wife or your husband, because that will carry that will cause, if it is reported, an investigation to be conducted. You may be called into taking that firearm, and you must comply, or you have committed a legal offense, right? And decisions may be made to revoke that firearm.
Understood.
Right.
Understood. All right, so we definitely, as always, are encouraging you to read the act for yourself. As you notice, especially with Ms. Robinson's last comment, it's a bit like a contract, isn't it? The FLA has responsibilities as the holder has responsibilities. The conversation is not over. We continue on the other side of this break with Ms. Robinson. Please stay with us.
Jamaicans, look on the murder rate. You think that normal? We need to get every illegal gun and save our country.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We are discussing key changes in the new Firearms Act 2022 with Director of Corporate Communications and Client Relations at the Firearm Licensing Authority, FLA, Beverly Robinson. Now, Lady Robinson, we have been speaking about registration and licenses, and perhaps the distinction isn't so clear. So, distinguish for me, registration, license.
Okay, so the license process, right? So the license is the renewal. Yeah. So you come in and you renew your license, and you do that every 5 years.
Okay.
Okay, and then you come in and you register, right? And that is done every year, 30 days before your last birthday.
So this is a little like how the car thing goes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All
Same logic.
Definitely. All right, so you have, let's just reiterate that, 5 years for your license.
Right.
And this would be perhaps your license to operate a shooting range, your license to operate a manufacturer, your license to have the weapon itself, 5 years. And then every year you have to renew your registration.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And the purpose of this is what?
It's a part of the regulation process, because when you come in to renew, we ensure that you again do a safe use and handling test assessment to ensure that you're still able to, load and discharge your weapon, etc. Also, we do background checks and fingerprints and ensure that you are still fit and proper to the holder of a licensed firearm. Meaning that when we conduct our investigations, which I must tell you, the FLA has extensive research capabilities, both locally and internationally.
All right.
And so even if you leave Jamaica, for example, and you go abroad, and you got involved in drugs, or you were convicted for domestic violence, we're going to know.
Okay.
And if that is the case, then chances are your license will not be renewed.
Okay.
Right.
It's a matter of accountability.
It's accountability, and it is important. As we say, the overarching objective is to ensure personal safety and public safety.
All right.
Right, and the FLA has a role to play in ensuring compliance with the provisions of the Act.
Understood.
Right.
So we're talking public safety, but let's talk public education.
Right.
Let's wrap up on that point.
Right.
What's the FLA doing to get this information out there?
Okay, so we started a public education campaign. The new Act was gazetted on November 1. And by November 2, we had proactively organized to have this campaign, because we recognize that, the public needs to be aware. Right. They need to know, because not knowing is not an excuse for when you break the law, right? So and it has been effective to date, and we're able to say that because when we started the campaign in November, we had like 8,000 followers on our IG page.
Yes.
Now we have over 20,000.
Ah.
We have over 100,000 views on Google. And people are calling in our call centers. People are contacting us. So, I mean, they send us they can direct message us on IG. They can send us direct messages via Google Maps. And so we are seeing the interest in obtaining the information by virtue of the questions that are asked. Right. So yes, we recognize that it is gaining traction. Right.
All right. And I'm getting from what you're saying a while ago that FLA is everywhere.
Everywhere. We're on digital media boards. We're on TV. We're on radio. We're on social media. We're in the newspapers every week.
All right. Thank you so much. For more information, you may contact the Firearms Licensing Authority at 876-927-5158. We have discussed the Firearms Act 2022 in this episode of Get the Facts. As our guest mentioned, ignorance is not bliss. So, our guest has been Director of Corporate Communications and Client Relations at the Firearms Licensing Authority, FLA, Beverly Robinson. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm Theodore Henry. Take good care.
Thank you for having me.
Do you own land and need a title? Well, the National Land Agency, NLA, can help. Through the systematic land registration process, the NLA will assist residents to get titles in declared project areas across Jamaica. Systematic land registration is the methodical and orderly registration of parcels of land in a designated area known as systematic adjudication area. For further information on the systematic land registration process, including declared systematic adjudication areas, who can apply and the benefits, visit the National Land Agency's website at www.nla.gov.jm or email asknla@nla.gov.jm. The National Land Agency, one goal.
Law and order remains a top priority for the government. Part of this effort will see the introduction of an end-to-end traffic ticketing system. Get the details next.
With the full rollout of the system, the issue of undocumented traffic tickets across relevant agencies will become a thing of the past. The streamlined and integrated process is an upgrade from the 12-year-old traffic ticket management system. Once the traffic ticket is generated using the handheld device, the information will be available immediately to all stakeholders.
As we seek to improve the efficiency of our traffic enforcement operations, Major Technology Transformation Branch of the Ministry of National Security has led the process of transforming the traffic ticketing management system into an end-to-end digitized ticketing system. The e-ticketing system is indeed a fully integrated, modernized mobile traffic ticketing system that supports all the agents that are involved in traffic enforcement. The end-to-end digitalization of ticketing system will go live on February 1, 2023. I'm appealing therefore to motorists to take note of a new system and a new date. Not only will it increase the efficiency of the public safety and traffic enforcement officers by ensuring that motorists who break the law receive with immediacy the prescribed consequence, but importantly, it will nullify also speculation, corruption, and avoidance. I implore all the motorists with outstanding tickets to make arrangements to have them paid by January 31st. As of the 31st of January, you will not be able to hide from being held accountable. Pay your tickets now. The government has agreed, and the appropriate resolution brought to Parliament to do two things. One, all tickets that are given before the 1st of February 2018 will have an amnesty. They're not being taken into account, and that resolution brought to Parliament. Tickets that have been paid between the 1st of February 2018, that's closure, brought to those tickets, until the 31st of January, will have all their demerits points expunged. All their demerit points, which allow for their license to be suspended or sometimes a period of time or other penalties executed based by the ITA, will be expunged. But we not granting an amnesty for that period. You must pay your tickets for having breached the law.
With research showing that there are approximately 3,000 offenders, persons are urged to make use of the Saturday and night court sittings to settle outstanding tickets.
If you're not closed by the 31st of January, all the penalties will carry on into the new era, as well as the additional penalties to be brought in now by the implementation or the beginning of the Road Traffic Act of 2018. The regulation will now be coming to force on the 1st of February 2023. So take advantage of this window of opportunity that has been provided by the government to pay your outstanding tickets. The enhanced ticketing system guarantees that tickets and related information in the TTMS system will be accurate and readily available. It will lead to significant improvement in public order and safety as we are able to bring discipline to our roadways, and that's among the primary purposes of what we're doing.
How many more must die because of reckless drivers? How fast is too fast? Make we take time, no man. Obey the rules of the road. Drive with care.
The new Road Traffic Act regulations will take effect on February 1 of this year. Here's a reminder of what's to come.
The Ministry of Transport and Mining is fully committed to the execution of Jamaica's road and vehicular safety operations. We are now in possession of a new, modernized Road Traffic Act and regulations. This law will ensure that Jamaica's road and vehicular safety network is in alignment with modern road and vehicular safety postulates. I want to inform owners of motor vehicles, ensure that you request a driving abstract from the Island Traffic Authority. Make sure that the person who you're putting to drive your vehicle is properly licensed and don't have a whole heap of tickets out there that are unpaid. Have evidence of their driver's license, as they could be driving around without a driver's license, as it may have been suspended. In relation to traffic tickets, all persons with outstanding traffic tickets are being warned to use the opportunity and have those tickets paid up speedily, because if you fail to do so, warrants will be issued. Be reminded that under the new Road Traffic Act and regulations, your driver's license will not be renewed if you have outstanding traffic tickets. We will have a new code governing the tread depth of tires. This is to ensure that the only component of the vehicle that touches the road surface do so in a safe manner. Motorists, pay keen attention to the 1.6 mm bar that is on your tire, as we do not want any violation of the law. In the new Road Traffic Act, there will be 3 categories of driver's licenses. Class A for motorcyclists, Class B for private motor vehicle use, Class C for commercial motor vehicle use. This therefore means the private and general driver's licenses will be no more. We will ensure that persons are properly aligned to classes. This new Road Traffic Act will give the Island Traffic Authority the power to suspend and revoke driver's licenses. Do not be caught in this dragnet, and do not ask for any bly. The ITA is not a bly entity. All stakeholders are ready for the full implementation of the Road Traffic Act and regulations. However, it is our intention to have a robust public education campaign geared towards ensuring that every road user is aware of the components outlined. I am again appealing to motorists to act responsibly on the roadways, given the growing number of crashes and fatalities across the island. Please take heed and get acquainted with the new law as we rid Jamaica of the lawlessness and mayhem on our roads.
Entertainment and culture is seasonal. You will work, you tour in the summer, and then in the winter, you don't get much work. Or you may have a song that gets good play, and you are in demand, and then years will pass after that, and then you get no work, or you get very little work. It's not constant employment. And so many of our practitioners are not able to plan and save in a sustainable way. They don't have a pension. They don't have any guaranteed income. Sometimes you may be a hit, and sometimes what you do, as we'd say, a miss. So it's important that we provide that base, that sustainable base for the sector, because they have contributed tremendously to brand Jamaica. They make Jamaica the brand that it is worldwide. And so I signed a contract with ECLA Jamaica Limited to start the process of establishing an insurance plan for entertainment sector, not just entertainers, but cultural practitioners. And this is a program that we wanted to introduce for some time. This is similar to the excellent program we have where we cover our sports personalities, those involved in the various disciplines of sports, where they have very good insurance coverage, life, health, and a number of other areas are covered, mental health. And so we have now signed this agreement to establish a similar program.
Wash your hands, wear your mask, sanitize. Along with that, we need to keep our immune system nice and healthy, so you drink lots of water, eat your fruits and vegetables. But whether we believe it or not, COVID is here, it is here to stay, it's going to be the new norm. And remember, when you behave irresponsible, you expose all of us. So do the responsible thing.
We've come to the end of this Sunday edition of Jamaica Magazine, but only for today. You can rewatch today's offering and other content on our website, jis.gov.jm. Do join us again tomorrow for more of the happenings coming out of Jamaica land we love. Until then, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.